And we're back. I'm sure you guys missed me greatly. Tonight we're going to be talking about distance and midpoint. The distance is the measurable length between 2 points on a coordinate plane. We have a formula for calculating it, and it looks kind of scary and nasty, but really all it's saying is when we take our first point, x1 and y1, and our second point, x2 and y2, if we subtract and square the x coordinates, subtract and square the y coordinates, add them together, and then take the square root, that's the equivalent of finding the distance between those 2 points. We're going to be using distance formula a lot, not just in this unit, but in every future unit. We'll need it oftentimes to find the length of a side of a triangle or a quadrilateral or any other shape. We'll use it to find the length of a circumference, sorry, not a circumference, a diameter or a radius of a circle, all kinds of things. So we're definitely going to need the distance formula. It is not included on your formula sheet, so it is something that has to be memorized, and the faster you memorize it, the better. The midpoint is, again, exactly what it sounds like. It's the point that's exactly between two endpoints. So the way I like to think about this formula is it's an average of the 2 points. So if you think about calculating average as finding the middle ground, that's what we're doing here. We're adding up our two x coordinates and dividing by 2. So adding and then dividing by the number of points we have, and we're adding up our y coordinates and dividing by 2. So our midpoint will give us, the midpoint formula will give us the point that is exactly between our two endpoints. Again, this is a formula that you'll need to know for the rest of the year, and it is not included on the formula sheet, so it is, again, one that you will need to memorize. Okay, so that takes care of the notes for tonight. The one thing that I also want to point out is there's a key term on the back for the Pythagorean theorem. This is generally one concept from geometry that students remember for a long time. I just wanted to point out that Pythagorean theorem, if you struggle with memorizing the distance formula, is another way that you can calculate the distance between 2 points. So if you can draw a line connecting the 2 points that you're finding the distance of, and then you can drop a line straight down vertically from the top point, and then draw a line horizontally over to meet your bottom point, you can always create a right triangle on your coordinate plane and then use your Pythagorean theorem formula to find the hypotenuse length. So I just wanted to include that as well. That's always a possibility, but you will need to have access to graph paper to be able to use the Pythagorean theorem, whereas the distance formula can be calculated by hand. And that's it. I will see you guys tomorrow. Let me know if you have any questions.